What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am the BA Tutor, and today we're going to be talking about why every business analyst must know the Agile methodology. But before I get into the video, if you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed, please do so. It does help me out a lot when you subscribe to the channel, when you like the videos, when you turn on the post notifications, and you do all of that. So really do appreciate that, and make sure if you guys are interested in learning more about business analysts, the world of business analysts, and getting training for BA, I have that available. Link is in the description for all my courses, so go ahead and check those out. With that being said, let's get into the video. So here we go. Why every BA, business analyst, must know Agile, so the Agile methodology. And let me just start by saying this. Whenever I talk about the Agile methodology, and I've noticed this a lot, people really get worried, intimidated, because Agile just feels so complex, so complicated to them. And it just feels like something that people have not embraced. But I'm here to tell you that Agile is crucial, and you need to know Agile. And I have full training for this, by the way, where I talk about the methodologies, waterfall, Agile, etc. Again, in my courses, so check them out in the description. But basically, what Agile methodology is, it's very simple. It's very simple. And again, this is probably why people get intimidated and people get very confused by Agile, is because they think it's this just very complicated thing, right? Agile is very simple. Agile is literally a process, okay? So it's a process by which a team can manage a project by breaking it down into chunks, okay? So that's all it is. And they do that by having constant collaboration. Okay, so whereas waterfall, so again, remember we have two methodologies. We have waterfall and we have Agile. Whereas waterfall has a very continuous, just straight, you go from designing the project to requirements to development. Like, I'm skipping steps here, by the way, but you get my point. Is you got from A to B, and that's it, right? It's just a one straight shot path. That's it. And so it's done in one instance, if you will. Versus Agile, I kind of look at it like this. It's a loop, okay? So it's just a loop because what I'm doing is I'm breaking it down into chunks, okay? Waterfall, I'm doing everything in one straight shot, but in Agile, I'm breaking down into chunks. It's still the same goal here. We still want to go from point A to point B, and we still do that in Agile. You go from point A to point B, but instead of making it where you got to do everything here in one instance, I break it apart, and I do one step here, two steps here, the third step here, fourth step here. These are called sprints, by the way. Again, all of this you can learn in the course, but point being is that's all Agile is. So my project that I've got, so these are the same projects. This is how I would do it in waterfall. I go through all the steps in one instance, but in Agile I can break it down. And while I break it down, also the constant collaboration is important, because that happens here in Agile. So constant collaboration, because, and here's why. In waterfall, like I've mentioned, you'll have, your requirements, which will go straight to development. And then before that, you will have design. Again, I don't have all the steps listed here. But point being is, you have different players here. So you'll have the BA for the requirements. You'll have the developers for the development. You'll have, stakeholders maybe for the design. And so there's no collaboration here, because the development team's not going to be with the, stakeholders for the design. But in the Agile phase, you basically have this process done each sprint, right? And so there's a lot more collaboration happening, because it's not done in one straight shot. It's done over iterations. And so again, constant collaborations across multiple cross-functional teams, and there's a lot of that in Agile. So basically, that's why Agile, again, seems complicated, but it's not. And this is, again, a good reason why BAs must know Agile. Every BA should know Agile, because of this constant collaboration, because of the fact that it is something where it makes projects more flexible, right? If I only have one way to do something, I'm not flexible. But if I've got multiple different ways to do it, I am flexible. So let's get into a little bit more detail of why every BA should know Agile. Okay, so let's talk about the reasons again why every BA must know Agile. And I'll start with reason number one, which I just alluded to. It's just more flexible, okay? Waterfall and all these other non-Agile methodologies, they're just not as flexible. They punish you. And how do they punish you? This is what I mean. So in Waterfall, once you have the scope, locked down and you start your requirements, well, if the stakeholders want to come back and they say, okay, we want to add to the scope, well, you can't now because we already, locked down the requirements and Waterfall doesn't allow you to go back. But in Agile, because you have sprints, it's iterations, you can literally add new scope each sprint if need be. You can add new requirements because you are restarting the cycle over and over again. So it allows you to have that flexibility. And because, again, you're not releasing the entire thing at once and you're doing it in chunks, you get to make these quick updates. You get to see, okay, that's not working, that is working, let's take that out. You get to improvise and you get to clean up and make the process more efficient, okay? That is the flexibility of Agile, and that is one of the reasons why every BA must know it. Number two, okay, it is starting to become the new normal, right? And why I mean the new normal is more and more companies are requiring business analysts to know Agile. And the point number three that I will have is going to relate to this. But let me just say, when we're talking about a new normal here, obviously we know that there's been a new normal with like the pandemic, right? With COVID and everything. Similarly with, technology and with the, methodology world, Agile is the new normal, okay? Because it just allows you to do way more things. So it's tied in with the flexibility. And so if you don't know Agile, you don't have the requisite, skills now that other business analysts would have. And so you need to know it because, again, it is starting to become the new normal. And I'm not saying it's to the point where I feel like everybody does it like I think they will eventually, but it is getting to the point where, okay, you need to know it because it's getting there. I'd rather be ahead on a trend than late, right? And right now, Agile is dominating. It is going to continue to dominate, and it will literally be the main methodology if it is not already. And that goes along with point number three, is eventually it will become a necessity, and I'd rather you jump on it earlier rather than later. So if it is going to be a necessity, please make sure you do know it. So again, know the Agile methodology, know all the players involved, know what it's about, know everything around it, because more and more teams are moving towards this, more and more companies are moving towards this. This is the go-to methodology, okay? So make sure you know it. Again, I explained it all in my course. You guys can grab that. Links are in the description for it. But I really want to harp on the fact that this is how important Agile is. You can know Agile and not Waterfall and still be fine. But I don't think you can be okay the other way around, where if you know Waterfall but you don't know Agile. Like it's that important now, okay? And so I've seen it with my, with experience with companies and knowing that if they're not there yet, they're trying to implement it. So make sure you know it. If you're a business analyst and you don't know Agile, you need to get on it. So hopefully that explains it, lets you know why every BA must know Agile.